All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. So once again, we are going to look at PHUN and DWAC, and then I am adding Rumble to the group. And I have to say, I'm so proud of the team here, all right? When Donald Trump starts to come up, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of opinions, and no one's turning this into like a political thing, right? We are here simply trading 3, 4, 5 letter things, right? And when you think of Donald Trump, when Donald Trump is in the news, when he is gaining attention, these stocks are gonna do things like this. And again, I mentioned it on the last video. Look, the Iowa caucus just crushing, right? Like, what's the other word? He had like over 50% of the votes. He had more votes than the other three combined. Like, it was a crushing, right? And it was less about that single moment and more the expectation and the anticipation that there's going to be more headlines in 24, right? So there's a lot going on. You can see we're literally sitting at the resistance we drew on my last video, right? So we are in live trading hours. You know, I love, I value the close of the market more. I just have a busy day today. So it's important to see where the day actually closes, but we'll kind of anticipate that as well as what the rest of the day is going to look like. All right. But excited to cover these. And before we do, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. I'm telling you, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, especially if you can actually share. I am not the best at doing that, and it's just a click away on your end. So let's get into it. And again, I want to start by just, again, first off saying thank you so much for not turning these into like a political spiral, right? Like that's always a possibility when you're talking about Donald Trump, okay? I honestly would trade a company that was 100% against the chart readers if in some random, for whatever reason, some company made nothing but t-shirts that said chart reader sucks, it's the worst channel on YouTube, everyone that watches it is horrible and dumb. If that was the company's model, but the charts looked good, I would trade it, all right? I am not here to let what I like or not like decide what I do, all right? And I'm not even here telling you if I like Trump or not. Like, none of that matters. What matters is Trump is amazing at getting attention, and when he does, you have to look at these stocks. That's the echoing point, right? And I mentioned it on the last video as well, and obviously I'm gonna stick to PHUN here, but I assume DWAC is actually a little bit better than PHUN. And there's a different moving average situation going on actually across all 3 of them. But I assume it's DWAC number 1, PHUN number 2, and then Rumble number 3. All right. And that's going to be the last one I cover. All right. I don't know if you saw it or not. I'm not going to jump back. But DWAC is over all the moving averages. My rhyme, one of my rhymes that I love is break all 5 and fly. Right. And this one has not quite broken all 5 yet. All right. And DWAC, on the other hand, is actually over all 5 for a number of days now. The candles are a little iffy, and I'll obviously get to that later. Rumble, on the other hand, is the opposite side of the rhyme. It is actually under all 5, and it's still dying. The ability of the Trump power momentum, I don't know what else to call it, right? It's actually not helping Rumble as much as I would have expected, and I'll talk about that later. But hey, end of the day, volume is king, okay? I have a golden videos. I'm looking at the time. I'll add it right here, but I have a golden rules video, and volume's at the bottom of this stack, but volume is king, all right? And there are stocks in an entire 30-day month. They will not get 400 million shares traded. PHUN is getting that on a single day. Yesterday, PHUN actually had 512 million. You can see VOL, the 3rd box down, 4th box down. Before that, it was actually in the bill, like this is a volume king, and yeah, volume's going down. Volume's at 400 million, and you can't undervalue that. Okay. From there, I mean, obviously, a lot has to do with the 100 moving average. You can see that this 25 line is an influence today, right? And I don't even know where to start. So I want to start with the 100 moving average. So let me zoom out real quick. Look at this 100 moving average. Basically, since here, and I'm sure I mentioned this on the last video, since February 22, we've pretty much been entirely under the blue line, right? There were a couple days right there, basically two good ones and some bad ones, one random one, and then this last couple days. But in more than a year, in pushing 2 full years, we've only just done a minuscule amount over that 100, right? Now, this is a real big candle. This does not count. This is an interesting after, okay? Because one thing I always say is, look, a doji screams uncertainty, all right? What's a doji? A doji is essentially a candle. Look in the box over there. Yesterday, this thing opens at 16. In an entire day of trading, it ends up closing at the exact same place, 16. Right? If I had a couple extra decimals, we'll see them move. But like, it literally just, some people thought it was ready to fly. Some people thought it should have stayed down here. It ends up staying under the line. People they're just like, let's wait till tomorrow, right? And to me, the day after the doji matters a lot. And this is an interesting day after the doji. And yes, this is a big 53% number, but what I'm actually looking at is this number, all right? Look in the box over there. We open at 22 and go up to 25 so far. Again, there's still a couple hours of trading, right? I'll give you my thoughts on where this thing might close too in a second, but I'm ignoring the 55 number, and I'm seeing at least a healthy, every 2 cents is 10%. We've gone up 3. So that is a 50. I'm seeing a nice 15% move today from the open to so far. Not too shabby at all, okay? Obviously, this 25-cent line does matter, right? Because generally the rule, not the rule, but the rhyme is break the 100, go to the 200, right? It seems like we're trying to break the 100, trying to go to the 200, but this is an important line. This was drawn nothing more than half of this big day, all right? Because just a general comment I got, if you're going to get one big day, all right, regardless of stock, you better do at least, don't lose more than half of it. I'm not even asking for a lot. It's kind of like this average 50-day, right, with the volume. Like, I'm not asking you to be a B+ student or an A- student. Just be a C student. Just be average. Here, I'm even asking you to be an F student. A 50% is not good on any tests, right? Just hold half. That's all I'm asking you to do, right? I like that we're above it so far. Obviously, we're now still moving up, which is a good thing. Let's kind of look at the rest of the day. Ooh, this is an interesting hourly chart. What time is it? Oh, the 11 o'clock. Well, again, I live in California, right? So 11 my time is 12:01. Oh, yeah, it's up here. It's 2 o'clock, right? The 2 o'clock candle just started. Not too oh, man. All right, if you're watching this, 27 cents. If this thing can get over 27 cents, basically into that 28, this thing might make some strong moves actually into the 11 o'clock hour, the 2 o'clock hour. There's about 2 hours left. I think there's a real good shot that this thing comes to 29, maybe even as high as 31 by the end of the day. That's not too bad from 26 right now, all right? What am I looking for immediately? Basically 2 things, all right? And I'm talking about the close. I'm talking about what needs to happen in the next 2 hours. Number 1, this line right here, okay? You need to close over it just like we're at right now. I would love a little bit more, and I'm kind of talking about it going to the 30 range, right? Damn, even 31 would be beautiful, but if we can do that, I'm going to start wondering if we can take the 200. And again, I echoed it. This 200 has literally never been touched until, what was this, Tuesday? Monday. No, it was Tuesday. Nope, hold on. Sorry. Fat fingers. It was Tuesday. So since Tuesday, we have been well under it from March Nope, January, February, March, from April of last year, of 22, dang, of 2 years ago, Jesus. So again, that 200 line is not going to be a joke, but we do have a positive MACD. We do have an RSI that's in the 60s that could still go up to the 80s, right? I'm not going to necessarily assume it's going to go as high as 95 again, as you can see in the box right here, but we can go from 60 to 80. And again, excuse me, we're already pushing 440 million shares. Like, we still got 2 hours of trading left, right? Like, this might try to go into the 500 million shares, right? So volume is king, positive MACD, positive RSI, holding an important resistance. Get over the 200 and you might get over and fly, just like we'll see on DWAC. Real quick on the weekly, look, there's a lot of reason to believe that this thing wants to go to the 40-cent range over the next coming weeks, all right? That might be next week, that might be faster, you know, again, for me, that's just echoing what looks like an attempt at the 200 moving average, and then this little cluster right here in July, August of last year, excuse me. Yeah, this year, we're not even there yet. Jeez, can you tell it's been a long day? My timing is so off, I apologize. But yeah, I think it might want to test this 200 again. My issue just simply is, look, we've barely touched it, right? So maybe we get over it, but I don't know how far above we'll get over it. I'm going to draw this. I think this is an important one to draw. 40 cents. Oh, that's basically the top of this too. Yeah. It's 41 cents now that I'm trying to adjust it. I'm actually not even taking the top of the Tuesday one. I am looking at this August candle. I think that's an important one, actually. So I'll put that, and then I'll draw one more horizontal just in case here. Right about there at 59 cents. Okay, that's my expectations up. We are pushing 27 cents. I'm loving it. Again, if we were to come down, this thing cannot go below 22 cents. All right, if this falls below 22 cents, it will be a quick drop to 18. That's 4 cents. That's almost 20% right there, right? So has to stay above 22. My goal is to believe that this 25-cent line is breaking, and then we're going to try to go to the 200. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Otherwise, let's take a peek at DWAC. Okay, DWAC's been interesting here, all right? Now, again, the one big... Oh, hey, really quickly, sorry. If you can please subscribe and share, it helps so much with the YouTube algorithms, okay? So let's jump back into this. Sorry about that. Okay, so DWAC is the first thing to talk... Actually, no. First thing to talk about is volume, where the other stock was pushing 400s, 500s, 1 billion shares in the last 3 trading days. This thing's in the 6 million range, 15 million yesterday, roughly 8. What is that? Yeah, look at that, 8 million on the dot. Nice, right? These are not the same numbers as PHUN, okay? As much as I believe DWAC is number 1 in the ranking charts, volume is king. Volume is queen for my ladies out there, right? And volume dictates a lot. And I don't exactly know why PHUN's getting the attention, but hey, volume's one thing. Moving average situation's another, and I love it when a stock is over all 5, because you know the rhyme, break all 5 and fly, right? That was a big candle. That was an interesting yesterday, okay? And I'll tell, oh, my kitty, what's up? Hold on. That was an interesting yesterday, and obviously an interesting today. I wanted to start with yesterday. So, we were in this, like, sorry, I zoomed in too much, actually. We were in this gap of lines, right? Trying to get over. That 18.2 was a hard resistance, on top of the fact that we were just sitting in essentially 4 lines, right? We monster jump over all of it. And I always say you can't get excited by a single day. You need confirmation to believe in sustainability. Like, I'm not here for pump and dumps. I'm not here for squeeze. I'm here looking for days of green, all right? I would have loved this is not a big confirmation candle to me. Now, it's not a small doji. Like, that's definitely a decent body, especially compared to, my goodness, all of the last few candles, right? Basically, since the September 23rd one, that's the, next biggest one, right? So, I just think if we're going to make this monster a day, I would want it a little bit more. And I think this 2380 line is kind of the story. It looked like we were going to smash it and run. Today, we kind of gap, not kind of, we actually do gap over it, but are living in this doji world right now, right? The gaps start to, get big, right? And when I talk about the gaps, I mean these channels. So between two lines, they call it a channel. I like this 23 to 29 because look, red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, red, green, 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 red. There is nothing from there. Like this is a very fast up, very fast down. You can see it in, oops, sorry, zoomed in too much. Yesterday, it almost ran the entire thing, right? Like this is a very up and down fast one. And if we can own this 23, it should go. Look, oh no, I keep zooming in too much. I'm so sorry. This 88 is a high RSI. I'm seeing right here, we were at an 85 not that long ago. When was this? November. What were you? You seem a little high. You were a 76. You were an 80 right here. You were an 81 in late November. You were yeah, like this end of November timing, that first end of November was 22. The last one was 23 end of November, and now we're actually doing better than we like. Volume is picking up and holding. You can see it's just been pump, drop, pump, drop, pump, drop. Like this is interesting. This is, and again, for me, it's less about just the Iowa caucus. It's less about just this trial going on right now. It is the anticipation that Donald Trump will be in the news for most of, if not maybe the entire 2024 calendar, right? As we start getting closer and closer to the elections, it's only going to get hotter and hotter. There's a lot going on. And I mean, look at this weekly. All right, where are we on the weekly? We are kissing. Are we over it? Man, we're actually over it. Again, we still have tomorrow, right? But we are over the 100 moving average. This is a brand new line. It does not, like, look how long the 50-day took just for this 100 to go. Like, it's a long time. Sorry, when I say day, I meant weeks. We're on the weekly here, right? This is 50 weeks before that came into the 100. We haven't even come close to the next 50, and that would only make it like there's still a long way to go before the 200 moving average forms on the weekly. We are potentially going to be over all the moving averages come Friday's close, over all the moving averages on the daily as of now. And just look, I mean, I don't want to start talking any higher than I have already, because again, this is just a $24 stock. I've kind of hinted at have I even talked about higher numbers? I don't think I have. I think it was a decent, oh man. All right, 32 I think is a fair immediate target. Obviously, you can see we've got a 2381 line here. I know we're sitting at 24, but this thing needs to break. Again, if we can get over that, maybe that like, oh man, 32 to 36. Yeah, I think 32 to 36. This is still 24, right? And that's a really big move. And you know I'm a fan of slow and steady, right? And I don't like giving these crazy big ones. But yeah, some silly things can happen on DWAC and again on the weekly. This thing is kind of saying some silly things can happen in the coming weeks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like I'll be covering this one. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's look at Rumble. And Rumble is not doing well. And I think two things, all right? This really emphasizes the other side of the rhyme, lose all five and die, okay? I have come to learn, I have come to respect these moving averages. I told you, when I move my money, I'm looking at something else, but it's not much different. I have the 1 and the 2, right? It's you know, these colorful lines, I believe in them, right? And I think this is a good example, even with the connection that Rumble has to Donald Trump, the connection that Rumble has to PHUN and to DWAC. This thing is still unable to get over the 8 moving average. This thing sees the pop, can't continue, can't confirm. When you're under all 5, when you're doing nothing more than just going under the 8, under the 20 for a long, long time with just little moments of over them, like, it's only so much can happen. You know what I mean? And again, I know it sounds like a pretty rhyme: break all five and fly, lose all five and die. It happens. It happens both sides of the coin, right? So I don't, again, I go back to, I don't know why fun, because if you look, I don't really know what Rumble and fun have in common and are different. I know that there's an app. I know that there's this social media platform. I know that there's this SPAC overall company, right? I don't really know who does what in that like mix. I think I have an idea, but I'm not here pretending I do. It seems like Rumble and fun, right? Because this says technology sector software application. This also says technology sector software application. I feel like they're both kind of on that like that hardware side. I don't know what else to call it, right? And it's odd to me that one is crushing it and one is not, right? And it wasn't that long ago that fun was also under all the moving averages and not doing well. And it was also living in that bad volume, like, and I don't want to call it bad, but like 4 million, 5 million, 5.5 million volume before this silliness, right? So I don't know the whys. I'm not here to care about or to justify the whys. All I know is I'm not touching Rumble until it breaks the 8 moving average. And then from there, the hot, like, so what does that physically mean? I think 388. I would not touch this stock until 388. All right. Maybe you can justify a little lower, but like, again, you're talking about pennies. 388 I like. I don't think it would go any higher than 430. All right, so that would be my next one too, because again, this thing doesn't know how to get over the 8 and the 20. It barely does, right? We're starting to test the 50 a little bit, so that would be my third and highest number, which is 460. We'll call it 450. But yeah, I'm expecting this to keep going under all 5 moving averages and dying. This looks like this is, in fact, in all-time lows. All-time lows is a black hole vortex that eats your money very quickly, right? These are rhymes and like little sayings I say that sound cute, and I'm here to make it all sound simple. That's really my goal, right? But hey, it's real, right? Like, I wouldn't be making these videos if I didn't believe it, right? Otherwise, I'd be silly wrong every time, and no one would be following me, right? So just food for thought. I don't know the whys, but I'm seeing the realities and I'm accepting them, right? So that's where I'm at. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I don't need to look at the weekly here, because again, if you're under all of them on the daily, you're under all of them on the weekly. If you're heading towards all-time lows, you can't be doing anything else, right? So nothing to me matters except this up here, right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Otherwise, you know it. Hey, I appreciate you so much.